Hello everyone. Previously we had discussed about the OOPS concepts, right? We discussed on encapsulation, inheritance and polymorphism, and finally abstraction. So today we'll be discussing about the solid principle. Basically, we'll be discussing in JavaScript, and which is basically required for the system design. So let's understand what is solid principle first, and let's try to implement. Let's try to see the same thing with the example, right? So solid is a set of principles. While I say S.O.L.I.D, they are the set of principles to design scalable and maintainable object-oriented systems. So again, I'm telling this is very important. Basically, we are discussing this one for the system design, right? So we have discussed about the OOPS concept. Basically, now we are dealing with the solid principles. So S.O.L.I.D, basically whatever I'm speaking of here, they are the set of principles to design scalable and maintainable object-oriented systems. Again, I'm telling this is very important. Solid S.O.L.I.D is a set of principle to design. They are the set of principles to design scalable and maintainable object-oriented systems. So what does let's see what does S.O.L.I.D stands for. Then let's try to understand the individual principles separately, right? So first, S stands for single responsibility principle. Again, S in the solid stands for single responsibility principle, uh, and O stands for open or closed principle, right? L stands for Lisco substitution principle, and I stands for interface segregation principle. The final one, nothing but the D. D stands for the dependency inversion principle, right? So first, we'll see what is single responsibility principle. Also, let's try to implement the same thing with the example, right? Let's see the same thing with the example so that we understand the concept clearly. So first, let's go with the single responsibility principle, nothing but the SRP, nothing but S in the solid principle, right? So it states a class should have only one reason to change. Again, I'm telling this is important. A class should have only one reason to change. That is nothing but it should perform only one responsibility. This is simple, right? A class should have only one reason to change. That is nothing but it should perform only one responsibility. Let's see the same thing with a very simple example, right? First, I'll go with the class for handling the user information. I'll quickly come here. Let me give here class user. So within this, let me give constructor, and within the constructor, name and email. These are the parameters I want to pass. Let's initialize name to name, and I have considered email here, right? Let's initialize email to email. This is fine. So I'll just come out of this constructor. Let me make use of the method. Nothing but I'll just give the method name get user info. Here I'll give get user info. This is fair. Let's return something very quickly. I'll just make use of the template literals over here. So here, what I'll do, initially, let me set this one to name. Then within this one, flower bracket, let me pass the name here. This is fine. And email, for email, what I'll do, similar to the name, I'll just give here email, and let me pass email within the flower bracket. So I'll just come here. I'll just give here this dot email. So this is fine. I'll just quickly come out of the class, right? So next what I'll do, I'll just create a class for the email notification. Let's quickly create the class for the email notification. This is just the, as I have explained, the first one, class user, that is the class for handling the user information. Now we are creating a class for the email notifications, right? So I'll quickly come here. I'll just give class email service. So this is class, right? This is fine. Let me make use of the method send email. Within this, let me pass the two parameters. One is email and another one is message. So this is fine. Let me quickly make use of console log here. Within the template literals, I just give email sent to whom. So this has to include the email, right? So first, so also the message. So I'll just give here with the message. So let me include message here. So we have considered email and message as the parameters. We are passing email and message here. This is fair. So next, let me come out of this class entirely, right? So next, the final step is we have to use the classes separately, right? So I'll just give here const user. Let me make use of the small u here. Let me give here new user of, I have to give the name and email here. You can clearly see I have to give the name and email here, right? So name, I'll just give here Bharadwaj, and email, let me give here Bharadwaj @ testmail.com. This is fine. This is just for the example sake, right? So again, I'll just consider here const, let me make use of the variable name email service. So here I'll quickly give here new email, this one, email service, right? I have considered new email service. We are just calling the method here new email service. So let me quickly log something here. User method, let's call this method here get user info. Let me paste it over here. So here I'm just logging the user dot get user info, means we have to get the user information, right? The output that we need to get here is name and email, nothing but Bharadwaj and Bharadwaj at testmail.com. That's what we need to get here. So, and one more thing, let me quickly make use of email service here. Let me call the send email here. This one, send email, whatever I have made use of here. Send email along with the user email. And initially, let's set this one, let's set something within the strings. I'll just give here welcome to our platform. You can give anything. This is relevant here, so I have given this one. So let's try to run the code, and later I'll explain what I have written here, the code. So here, name Bharadwaj, email Bharadwaj at testmail.com. You can clearly see here, and email sent to Bharadwaj at testmail.com with the message welcome to our platform. You can clearly see here the output that we are getting is absolutely correct. So I'll quickly explain whatever I have done here. So as I have said while explaining, right? So at this one, basically what does single responsibility principle states? It states that a class should have only one reason to change. Again, I'm telling, a class should have only one reason to change, and it should perform only one responsibility. This is the thing mainly about the single responsibility principle, right? So here the user class only manages the user data here. So again, I'm telling, this is very important. The user class only manages the user data. This one, whatever the user class we are making use of here, this manages the user data only. And the email service here, whatever the class, another class we have written here, right? The email service. This email service class is responsible for sending the emails. We know that this email service class is responsible for the responsible for sending emails, and separation of concerns ensures each class has a single responsibility. And here separation of classes means we have written these classes separately, right? Single class, class user and class email service. I mean the email service class and the user class is separate, and separation of the concerns ensures each class has a single responsibility. So I hope the concept of this one single responsibility principle, nothing but the SRP or yes in the solid this one principles is completely clear. Next, let's move to the let's discuss on the next topic, nothing but the open or closed principle, nothing but OCP. We call it as OCP, right? Or O in the solid principles. So for now, this is it. I hope this concept is completely clear. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.